Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Max Tasty channel. For this month of recipes, since August continues to remain the most popular birth month, we will be doing our third round of August Appetizers, where we'll be making another 4 more different types of appetizers for you to make for any statistically likely party that you will be having this month. For this episode, we will be making some calamari. For this recipe, you will need half a pound of squid. I recommend getting a whole squid so you can cut out the rings to the size you want, but I couldn't find any at the store, so I'll be using these pre-cut ones. You will also need 1 to 2 serrano or other peppers for our optional spice, 1 cup of buttermilk, half a cup of flour, a quarter cup of cornstarch or more flour as substitute, 1 tablespoon or so of garlic powder, some salt, some pepper, half a cup of breadcrumbs, some oil. Since I plan on baking these, I only need 1 to 2 tablespoons sprayed, but if you plan on deep frying, you'll need at least 2 to 3 cups. And you will also need 1 to 2 lemon slices, some marinara sauce for dipping, and some dried or fresh parsley for some optional garnish. This will make about 2 to 3 servings, so just as needed. First we'll prepare the squid, so if you're using frozen squid, first defrost it by running it over with some room temperature water, or by using your favorite method of choice. Then pat your squid dry and slice it into thin rings if needed. Then place the calamari in a bowl and cover the pieces with the buttermilk. Cover the bowl with some plastic wrap and let this soak in the fridge for 20 to 30 minutes. While we wait for that, we'll prepare the dredging ingredients, so in a shallow bowl, add in the flour, cornstarch, garlic powder, and salt and pepper, and give this a mix. Then take out a quarter cup of the dry mix and add it to another bowl, then add in a little water until you get a thick batter. We'll be adding the buttermilk to this later, which will thin out the batter some more, so don't make it too thin. Then prepare a third bowl for the breadcrumbs, adding some seasoning to this if desired. Also, prepare a wire rack over a baking sheet at this time as well. When you're ready to cook your calamari, prepare your cooking method of choice by heating up some oil to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or preheating your air fryer or oven to 400 to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, if your oven has a convection or fan option, I recommend turning that on as well to help crisp up your calamari even more. While we wait for that, once your squid pieces are fully marinated, take them out of the buttermilk and transfer them to the wet batter bowl and mix it together. Also, if you want to add in some heat, add in your peppers cut into slices into this bowl as well. If you need to, you may thin out the batter some more. I recommend making it thinner if you plan on baking or air frying it, since we don't want the coating to be too thick, since it won't crisp up as well. But it's fine to leave it thicker if you're deep frying it, since it's a much quicker, hotter cooking method. In any case, once your squid mixture is ready, remove a few pieces at a time from the wet mixture, letting any excess batter drip off, and then toss them into the dry flour mix to fully coat the battered pieces, making sure to coat the inside of the rings as well. Then give these a quick dunk back into the batter, and then letting any excess batter drip off again. Transfer these to the breadcrumbs to evenly coat the pieces again, and then transfer the fully coated pieces to the prepared wire rack. Once all of your squid and peppers are fully coated, your cooking method of choice should be ready, so if you plan on frying them, add them carefully to the oil and let them cook until they turn golden brown, and let them rest while you fry the rest of the batch. If you want to bake or air fry them, ensure your pieces are arranged evenly in a single layer on your wire rack or air fryer basket, and then spray them with some oil, ensuring every piece gets an even coating. Then place the baking sheet or basket into your oven or air fryer, and let this cook for 5 to 10 minutes. Then give your calamari a flip, spray this side with some more oil, and let this cook for another 5 to 10 minutes or until the pieces turn golden brown. Once your calamari is cooked, transfer the pieces immediately to a serving plate along with your dipping sauce, heated up if desired, as well as some lemon slices and some parsley for garnish, and with that, your calamari is ready to eat. Calamari is one of my favorite things to eat when I get fried seafood. The crunchy exterior with the chewy but tender center in a ring shape is just the best when made properly. But often when I order this appetizer at a restaurant, it's usually lacking in some department, so I typically pass over it when I see it on the menu. But thankfully with this recipe, it's quite easy to make high quality calamari at home, with just a few tricks. I think the biggest secret is letting the squid marinate in the buttermilk, since the slight acidity allows the squid pieces to tenderize and soften, giving it a better chew. Also, using a thinner batter with breadcrumbs along with high heat allows the exterior to become crunchy without overcooking the squid and making it rubbery. The only issue I have with making calamari at home is how much time it takes to individually dredge the calamari pieces, especially if your rings are too thin and small like these pre-cut ones. And it also makes it difficult to arrange the pieces on the wire rack, but I would much prefer the baked version over the frying them. I mention this every time we make a fried food recipe, but I really don't like deep frying things, and I will almost always opt to bake or air fry them instead, especially if I'm only making food for myself. I hate wasting the oil, and plus it's got a ton of extra calories, and it's hard to clean up. And it's definitely a lot easier to accidentally burn yourself. The only reason I would recommend going with the deep fry method is if you're making a ton of fried food all at once, and you can use up all of the oil needed to deep fry everything. But this dish is certainly one that you'll want to make a double batch of, so it might be worth it. But regardless of your preferred cooking method, this simple recipe is a great way to make your homemade calamari both super crunchy and tender without having to use a ton of oil or fancy ingredients, and will make your guests crave for another batch. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know how it went if you decided to make it, and let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I want to make next. Like this video, share with your friends and family, and subscribe to or follow this channel for more episodes of the Max AC channel. And remember, if you want to stay cool in the kitchen, turn your AC to the max and watch the Max AC channel. And it's definitely a lot easier to accidentally burn yourself. And it's definitely a lot easier to accidentally burn yourself.